Morning, everybody. I've been thinking about this idea for a long time, trying to, I don't know, get this perspective right so that I can show it to other people. And to do that, you need new labels. So I came up with a bunch of new words, I guess, new acronyms. And let me just start, and we'll see how this goes. So I want to talk about the way we look at the economy and the perspective we take. And I think this is the one that most people have of how the global economy works. You got this Earth, and then within the Earth, there are functional regions. So those are like countries, basically. But I mean, you could do cities or states or whatever size you want. But people see these groups together, and then within each of those functional regions, there are these businesses. And the businesses trade information and products and money. And within each business, you have little teams that actually do the work, and they trade information within the business. And then within each team, you got little people who actually do the work. And businesses could really be government organizations or charities or churches or anything, really. The whole idea is the labels don't matter so much as the organizational structure. So we have this hierarchical organizational structure. And sometimes I think hierarchies can be good in very specific situations. Like when you have to coordinate the actions of a bunch of people in very little time. Maybe. I'm not even convinced about that. But in general, hierarchies, I think, are very inefficient and lead to bad decision-making. I don't know how to say it. I just don't think hierarchies are generally a good idea. Because you lose so much information going up and down the pyramid. And the people at the top aren't able to make rapid, fast, good decisions that affect the whole company. And that's why big corporations are so inefficient. Anyways, so here's how I would picture the economy and how I think we should try to structure it is take those teams out of the mix of the other thing and just have them interact directly. I'm calling them modular economic teams. They can vary in size as much as you want. You got one with one person here and, a bunch there. But the idea is they'll transfer the information and goods and services and money directly amongst themselves. And by making the units of our economy smaller, first off, they're going to be more fragile. Each of those teams is going to be more likely to fail than a large hierarchical organization or like a large hierarchical government. But because you have a lot of small fragile units, that makes the whole society more anti-fragile as a whole. Which anti-fragility means it's something that will gain from uncertainty and disorder, which is what the universe is. So we don't want to build fragile hierarchies. We want to build anti-fragile mesh networks of teams that the little teams will fail left and right, which is great because every time a team fails, that means the society as a whole has gained some information and will be able to be more efficient after that. And efficiency means making people happy with less resources. So let me keep going on my pictures here. So to make a connection between teams, I imagine the teams have an interface. So it'd be a METI, a Modular Economic Team Interface. And within that, you're going to have, wish this should focus, one team is transferring either an object or a service to the other team. So one team's output is another team's input. And to make that connection, they have to agree on some specifications. So this team, whose getting an input, it's going to publish its bid price, which is how much it's willing to pay for that input. And this team, who's having an output, they're going to have an asking price. Hold on a second for the plane. And you're going to have requirements on one side and specifications on the other side. And when all those things match up and the teams agree, then you're going to have a transfer. And money's going to go one way and the object's going to go the other way, or the service, or whatever. So I kind of see that as two neurons, like the synapses growing together, and you get a neural firing whenever certain conditions are met. Or like in the stock market, that's when a stock is traded, when the bid price meets the ask price. So let me keep going. The main thing is, well, this is a perspective on really how the economy already works, because there are only people, really, at the most basic level, and whenever you draw a circle around a few and say this is a company, it's useful, but it's kind of an illusion, because really there are just people who are communicating and trading things. It's very helpful for us as humans to draw a circle and say that's a family, and that's a country, and that's a state, and that's a business. But in reality, they are just people. So we can change our perspective on how those people are interacting and how the structure of the society works. And I'm thinking by changing our perspective, we can change our decision making, which changes our behavior, which can make people happier. So the real I guess perspective change is, for me at least, I started to think about how the structure is so similar to the way computer programs are structured. So that's what I mean by social software there. By changing our perspectives, we can structure our organizations and interactions in a way that's more anti-fragile, which will make our economy evolve faster, which is moving towards more happiness. That's what evolution in terms of social software means. So anyways, I wanted to give it a little name, so I called it Modular Economic Social Software, which I like it because it spells out MESS, which is the whole idea here, is that we need informal, just non-hierarchical teams to interact. And if you do that, the economy becomes anti-fragile and it will evolve faster. And evolve faster means moving towards meeting more human desires with less resources, which is exactly what we want. And this is what I mean by anarchy. People have this crazy idea that anarchy means disorder, but it just means a change in your perspective from a top-down hierarchical society to a bottom-up evolving society. And if you look around nature, bottom-up is how everything works, like a flock of birds, a school of fish. They don't coordinate their actions by voting for a president. They coordinate their actions by tiny little interactions between each of them. And that's what evolution favors, because it's anti-fragile, because over the long run, it tends to approximate more efficiency. And depending on how you define efficiency, that either means the survival of the birds and the fish, or the happiness of your society. Maybe it means the survival of your society, which isn't always the same. But I don't want to get distracted on that one. So anyways, the idea here is that anarchy is not disorder. You can have highly ordered, complex interactions that will emerge from the bottom up to restructure society in a more efficient way, which, again, leads to more happiness. So let me stop there. I have some more ideas, but this is already long, and let me know what you think. I hope you can tell that I'm excited by this idea. It's a really cool perspective for me, and it really just helps everything fit together. Thinking about how you can have this isomorphism between just the units of society. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked again. I'll talk to y'all later.